Welcome. Thank you for joining in today. Today's routine for movement with Fortress is going to kind of focus on the upper body and spine. Thank you for joining in. Dr. Amy here with you guys today. This is the lovely garage setup, or at least part of it. But if you are a first timer on the YouTube channel, thank you for joining in, and we're gonna get started with the routine. So I have on my whiteboard that you guys can't see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different poses. So this can be up to a 5-minute routine, all the way to maybe 10 or 15, pending how many sets you do. So, first movement is an awesome movement that I enjoy, is called a Bodyweight Jefferson curl. So that is going to be our first movement we will begin with. Second movement will be a child's pose stretch position. And then we're going to stem off of that child's pose position and deviate to the right and left sides to kind of focus more on our lats. After that, we will get into what in the yogi world, I think, don't poo-poo on me, but I'm not a yogi, but a seal pose. And then we're going to end that sandwich with a wall pass through that kind of focuses on the shoulder and the upper back. So just kind of, I'm going to take you guys through probably about 1 round, maybe 2 rounds. And again, this can be something that can be performed in 2 to 3 sets, 4 sets, depending how much time you have. And if it's something that you enjoy, this is obviously a video that you can revert back to and put that in your back pocket. All right, so we're going to start out with 6 bodyweight Jefferson curls, and this is what they look like, okay? So I want to think when I'm doing this that I am flexing each spine. So I'm going to start in this straight stance position. I'm going to flex my neck. I'm going to round my shoulders and think that I'm unlocking every spine and just literally dragging my hands down the front of my shins. And then I'm going to reverse that process back up as if I'm restacking each spine on top of each other. So we're going to do 6 of those. Staying rounded until we get to each quote-unquote segment in the spine. Flex. Really try to keep that chin to the chest as our nervous system gets kind of stretched out and nice and controlled. Some of us might feel a little bit more tight, I guess. This is probably one of my favorite movements because not only are we getting a whole, I got 2 more, I think, backside stretch, you know, our lower back, hamstrings, calf muscles, but this is a great stretch, full body stretch. 1 more. To focus on the nervous system or the spinal cord. And this is one that I really love, and I actually incorporate into my coaching CrossFit classes as well. Awesome, cool. All right, next movement, what is going to kind of focus on is just kind of extending the lower back. So child's pose, this is what it looks like from the front. So child's pose, from what I remember from yoga class, is our big toes. Our feet are going to be flat on the floor, and I'll position myself a different way. And our big toes are going to be touching each other. Knees are flat, right? So then you can see me from the back side. I'm not tucking my toes. I'm bringing my toes down. I'm going to make my big toes touch each other and essentially make a V with my knees. I'm trying to hold this position for 30-ish seconds. So I'm just going to sit back onto my feet and reach forward and then gently put my forehead on the ground. I'm just going to focus on breathing. Really try to stay relaxed. About maybe 5 more seconds. I'm still going to stay in this position, which leads to the next kind of mobility or stretch, is we're going to deviate to one side. So still maintaining child's pose, feet, big toes touching each other. I'm just going to move my hands to the right. I'm going to stack my left hand onto my right hand. So I'm going to feel this real, like, nice, long stretch to my left arm. And what I want to do, you'll probably feel, we're going to hold this position for 30 seconds, so just kind of hear me out as you're holding this. You might feel your left hip kind of pop up a little bit. I want you to try to, like, focus on sitting that left hip down onto your left heel, or your butt onto your heel as you're reaching across to the right. You should feel some gnarly stretching underneath that left armpit. In about 5 more seconds. Just kind of slowly come up out of that. So, if we did it to the right side, we're going to take it to the left. So, we're going to deviate our hands to the left side, still in child's pose, same deal. Again, you're just going to mirror image yourself. I like to rest my forehead on my biceps. So again, we're stretching that right armpit on this side. So that means you might feel that right hip or butt bone kind of shift up. I want you to try to focus on pushing that right butt bone towards your right heel. All while you're still trying to, like, extend to the left or reach to the left. 5 seconds. Alright, we're going to gently come out of that position. So this leads to our next kind of pose or stretch called the seal pose. So essentially, it's just a static press up is kind of what I like to say. So think of the seals, you know, especially on the San Francisco coast, right? They're literally, you're going to be in this nice kind of tall position. If we're going to hold this for about 30 seconds, if this is something your lower back can't tolerate, I like to kind of revert to the next pose or an alternative pose on this. Let's just finish this out and I'll show you guys that. I might feel pressure in the low back, and that's okay because it's temporary most of the time. Now, an alternative to the seal pose, if you can't tolerate this, just going to gently come up onto your elbow, so a prone on elbow. And I like this pose, specifically called the Sphinx pose in yoga, where you kind of, you're pulling the floor towards you, so essentially you're kind of bringing your chest up and forward. And you should feel some good, maybe ab stretch through here, or even something like in the mid to lower back. This is actually a pretty good stretch too. So that's a great alternative to the seal stretch. So after finishing that seal stretch, we're going to get to standing pass-throughs at the wall. And this is what they're going to look like. All you need is a wall. That's it. Okay? I'm going to show you 2 different angles. We're going to do 6 of these. So this is really going to stretch out or target the lats, a little bit of the upper back. And we get this indirect stretch into our hamstring area and also the nervous system. So hands are on the wall. And you kind of want to be not directly like 90 degrees out from the wall, but kind of leaning as if you were going to maybe do a push-up. But all you're going to do, hands are about shoulder width apart or slightly wider. You're just going to shift your weight back as you pass your head through the window you just made with your arms. The goal is to try to keep the knees straight while we're gently pressing into the wall. Okay? I just did a static hold. We're just going to do 6 of these. Just kind of pressure on, pressure on, pressure off. Pressure on. Try not to turtleneck your neck out, or kind of what I like to say, sniff grandma's pie. just going to show you guys another angle off this wall. Again, I'm going to do my last 3 here. As I shift my hips back, I'm driving my upper body through the window that I made with my arms against the wall. Pressure on, pressure off. One more. Nice, cool, awesome. So this focus definitely kind of focusing on that upper body, neck, shoulder. But go ahead and give this a try. Drop anything into the comments, what you liked, what you didn't like, and something to hang on to, you know. So thanks for joining in. And again, these routines are meant to be very general, okay? But a free resource for individuals who may need a quick movement or mobility routine. So thanks for joining in, and we'll see you guys on the next movement with Fortress.